I genuinely have no wisdom on death. I'm not sure how much wisdom there is, but I will quote a philosopher that Julie and I met on a trip. So we did a tour, I guess you'd call it one of those safaris in Africa. And on the safari was a pain in the ass gentleman who was too rich for his own good and doing a world tour in his own plane. And he was he described himself as an Orthodox Jew who believed in the literal word of the Bible as being the literal word of God. That the Bible, as we know it, was written by the hand of God. And he was going around the world collecting stories with the, pardon the editorializing, absurd concept that if two completely diverse civilizations or cultures had the same story, the only way that would happen is if God told both of those civilizations. So anyway, we were at a talk by a so-called naturalist who was I guess he started out life as a Maasai. He wore the Maasai robe when he gave the lecture, but was educated in the West, and he was just talking about the animal life on the African plains. And my friend, the story collector, asked him what their philosophy, the Maasai philosophy, was in the afterlife. And the guy said, "What?" And he said, "You know, what happens after you die?" And his answer was the deepest and best stated piece of philosophy that I have ever heard and that I can imagine. And he said in these words, "We believe dead is dead." 3 words. Dead is dead. I mean, that's pretty profound. Right? I mean, if you can make a more profound statement than that, not using calculus, I'd be amazed. But that didn't satisfy our friend, who said, "Well, what are your afterlife rituals?" What are you talking about? I said, "Well, what do you do with the body after it's died? You know, what kind of prayers do you say?" He said, "Oh, we drag the sucker out on the plains and we leave him there to be recycled like everything else." So I don't know his name, and I don't know if he's published anything, but I think that was a philosopher of really great depth, whom I have always appreciated. And someone asked what we think happens after you die, and I think you go to the same place that you were before you were born.
Right.
You simply no longer are.
So who's next? Who's next? We have, Beryl, come on up.